Okay, guys, so it is Tuesday now, September 20th, and we are going to look at this map of Wyoming assignment. Okay, so this assignment, what we're going to do, we're going to start it today. Hopefully, we can get through a lot of the labeling and kind of identifying where stuff is. Tomorrow, you're going on your big field trip. Remember, got to have those permission slips in. Hopefully, you turned in those yesterday. If you haven't, hopefully, you have them today. Today's kind of the deadline. Miss Penrose is going to come get the folder today. If you don't have it by today, you're probably not going to be able to go. If that's the case, you just got to go to your classes as normal. Okay. Anyway, so now for this mapping assignment, what we're going to do is it introduces it to you. We're basically going to be creating a map of Wyoming. Okay, we're going to be looking at a lot of the major ecosystems and geographical features of Wyoming. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is on your map, you're going to label a lot of these features. Okay, and you can label them with whatever color you want, but we want to make sure when you're writing the names of the mountains, like the Absaroka Mountains or Bighorn Mountains, Black Hills, you use the same color, right? So you don't have one labeled in blue, one labeled in green, okay? So whatever you choose to label your mountain ranges, label that all one color, okay? Same thing with rivers, same thing with major lakes and major landmarks. So they should all be labeled in the same color. Have a little key there on your map for that labeling, okay? So you'll go through, you're going to find each of these, okay? So you're going to use the internet. There are slides attached to this assignment as well. You can use those, especially those will be really helpful when we get down to our ecosystems. Okay, so after you have this all labeled, the next thing you're going to do, use the slides to help locate these major ecosystems that we find. Okay, so some like the sagebrush prairie, those are going to be kind of familiar. Like we look out east, and we see a lot of sagebrush prairie. Okay, coniferous forest, right? We look to the west, and there we got the Bighorn Mountains, a bunch of coniferous trees, a lot of our pine trees, our spruce, Doug firs, all of those. Okay, but then alpine tundra might be, some of you guys will know what that means, but the alpine tundra might be something kind of new. Our desert, right? Where's the desert in Wyoming? If you guys have been down towards Rock Springs, you know, okay? And then this one's kind of new. So this is a riparian area. So as we look at this, the riparian area is anywhere where you kind of have some grasslands and plants prior to water flowing into something like a ditch or a creek, okay? Well, that's known as the riparian area, the area kind of on the banks. And they have a really important purpose, but it'll be kind of difficult to locate those. Well, not kind of difficult. There's tons of them, so we'll talk about how to do that on your map. Okay. So the big thing, guys, is this needs to be really, really neat, right? It can get sloppy really quick. Okay, so go slow. Kind of think about a plan, and yeah, and just take your time. Okay. With your ecosystems too, you're going to create another key, and you're going to lightly shade where that is. Okay. So this is the map that you're going to get. Okay, print it out. The teacher will hand that out to you guys. And so this is what we'll be labeling. Okay, so we're going to go through and label all that. So then, what this is going to kind of look like, okay, is you can see here I have my map of Wyoming. I don't have everything labeled on there. But now you can see some of the major areas like this. Yellow, that represents my sagebrush prairie. This orange, we'll notice those kind of go along major rivers and watersheds. It's going to be my riparian areas. So that's how we can kind of do our riparian areas there. It's going to be the areas that are pretty close to those major watersheds. Okay. So this is basically what you're trying to create. Okay. But maybe even a little bit neater. So we want a key that identifies, okay, what do these colors mean? What does this brown mean? What does the green mean? What does this white mean? Okay. So each one of those should represent a major ecosystem. Okay, so that's the first part. So we really want to be working on that. Hopefully we'll get done with labeling and finding those major things on Tuesday. And then after the field trip, we have these post-application comprehension questions. Okay, so they can be a little tricky. Just do the best you can on them. Some of them are a little weird as far as like, where am I questions. And so those are going to be the ones that are a little bit funky because I don't technically agree with some of the answers on these. So anyway, do the best you can. I'm not going to take off major points if you kind of answer them a little bit differently. Okay. Now, this is the one time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a copy of this on Google Classroom. So as we go through this assignment, instead of having a big old packet printed out again and wasting a bunch of paper, you guys are going to fill this out on Google Classroom. So for example, right, it says circle. Well, maybe what you can do is you can highlight it. And then you can go like that and say, yeah, I think that answer is deciduous forests. Okay, so you can fill this out on the doc. When you get down to the short answer responses, you can just type your answers in there. Okay, so that's how I want you to complete this portion of the assignment. Okay, when you are all done with it, okay, and you got your map done, you're going to, this will already be linked into Google Classroom, which is good. You just need to take a picture of your beautiful map and turn that in. Okay, so Friday, you might have a little bit more time to work on this too. We're gonna have a film, and you can kind of work on that as we watch the movie. Okay, but yeah, just do the best you can. Follow the directions.